Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Let's give 2 more minutes so others can join. Meanwhile, is the audio proper?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Shall we start? Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu.
Shall we start?
Yes, we can start.
I think today we will cover those verses that Dev Prabhu has read last Saturday. So which means from verse 4 to 13.
10, Prabhu.
Oh, he read only till 10?
Yeah.
Yes.
Then once we finish 10, then Dev Prabhu can read 11 to 13. Okay?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimrandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kathamahim Dadati Sva Padantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalaam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagra Jatam Saha Gana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Saha Gana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namne Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे वंशा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिंधुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे नारायण नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः. So, Devarshi Narad Muni is, out of compassion, visits King Prachina Parishat when his son Prachetas learned the way of living from Lord Shiva. And that's part of the Rudra Gita. And then Narad Muni, he comes to Prachina Parishad, who is so much absorbed in making a life a very perfect life. And this life, all of us also think, what is perfect life? Is to balance. What are we trying to do is balancing. What balance? We have a balance sheet, and this balance sheet is doing what? We are trying to balance, like, what is the sin I'm doing? What is the pious activity I'm doing? How I can match them so that I can lead a wonderful life. And King, what he was doing is absorbed himself in performing so many sacrifices, yajnas, and he's thinking yajnas are the means. After all, he's a king, he has every resource that he can use in that service, but he is still stuck in the karma kanda. Karma kanda is not so elevated than animalistic way of living. And this is what in the first three verses we see. Uh, there's a whole description of this chapter where it says Prachina Parishat goes for hunting. And then there is this on his chariot he is going, and there is a whole description about what is a chariot. Chariot is a body, and then he is equipped with bow, which is the desire to enjoy and the feeling of doership. Then there are unlimited desires. So this is what we do. In today's society, what are we doing is we have so many plans, so many plans. We are not even checking are these good or bad. We are so much absorbed in getting them done anyway. Uh, let's get it and then think about it whether if it is good or not. If it is anyway not good, let me give it up. Uh, this is the mentality of pre-retirement plans. What does it mean? That when we have a job, when we have something in hand, let us use it king size for our enjoyment. So sometimes, this is how it starts. A small, uh, what do you call, a fresh family. If someone, you may not see so much furniture around. You may see, okay, one has bare minimum necessities. What are they? There is a kitchen, there is a toilet, there is a bedroom, there is a table. That's it. But as the bhoga vancha, I mean, the intense interest of enjoying increases, then what happens is we start adding things. We may think how nice it would be if I have this a nice carpet. How nice if I would have that a nice um, balcony. How nice if I would have this. So in that way, what we are doing is we are adding and adding and adding, and then we come to a point that we think that the house is no more sufficient. We should have a big house so that we can have a bigger plan. And then when the time comes to wind up, I don't know. Yesterday, Satish Prabhu was mentioning about unwinding, but actually, we don't say unwinding, but actually we say winding up. Business means I don't want to entangle anymore. I want to wind up my job. So when we come to that point, we struggle. Then the question comes about, who will take care of it. In the case of Bharat Maharaj, uh, he has winded up. He ended up in the forest so that he can practice Vanaprastha life. And what happened? Even that sometimes become difficult unless we have complete, constant um, conscien conscience of practicing Krishna consciousness vigorously. Tivra Bhakti. Tivra Bhakti is something that we should understand the need of it, is that we should always understand Bhakti is the most important thing in my life. But if we think that no, that's not the case, then what happens immediately? There is this arrows. Those arrows are just inside. Yeah, they're already pinching us inside the heart. They come and pinch us in the mind. They make our intelligence. What is it called? Um, a layer, a protective layer of rules and regulations, a protective layer of discipline, a protective layer of knowledge. Those are pierced by these arrows, and then just like when a balloon is punctured by the arrows, then everything is broken, and then all things get loosed, and then the time comes again back. Okay, the arrows are there, what to do? The arrows are very visible, and then we get carried away by shooting the arrows in all directions, just trying. I think last week we were discussing about when one goes to an exhibition, we may see that there is this balloons that and a rifle shooting. Uh, we try. What is the cost? We don't pay so much, right? After all, we pay maybe 10 euros or something, and then we start shooting, thinking, hey, if the luck, if luck is mine, then I'm getting it. So we start hunting. We start hunting for man. We start hunting for woman. If luck works, then we can enjoy life again. We regenerate ourselves. Uh, where did I come across this word? Yeah. I was reading the label on our shampoo. Then it was saying regenerate. Uh, there is this hope. People who are eager that I want to start a new innings of my life with again full hope to enjoy. Uh, this is what King Prachina Parichat, what is he doing now? He is, yeah, thinks that, okay, it's quite boring at home. It's quite boring with this regulated life, which means regulated wife. And then he wants to get loose, so he gets on his chariot, equips everything himself, and then hmm, he desires to hunt. This hunting is seen as yeah, how do we compare this hunting as it's like a woman hunting? A woman hunting we see is not so uncommon to understand, yeah? Because we are in Kali Yuga, we can see how the world is revolving around the women. Yeah, if we just turn around, we can see so many ads which are having topless women depicted, so that one can see, oh, it's so easy to enjoy, uh, and then he is just carried away. Prabhupada mentions in the mm, fourth verse, he is giving us what it means to be is, it was almost impossible for a king to give up the company of his queen even for a moment. Mm. So this is also there. One is anyway want to enjoy ethically or unethically. The enjoying propensity is there. So he was finding it very difficult to give up his wife or give up his bondage. This is what it means, wife. Yeah. So we have so much attachment to our home that we want to definitely not miss it, because after all, we have choose we have cherry picked every piece of what we like the most, and we have brought that to our home. And yeah, nonetheless, on that day, being very much inspired by the desire to hunt. So what happens is, there is, okay, every facility is there at home, but we see because the nature, human nature is to be not satisfied. We want unlimited happiness, so that we just think that, oh, if I get unlimited happiness, I'll be satisfied. No, that's not going to happen. Even if we get, of course, there is nature of law, sorry, laws of nature. Prakriti sthani karshati. The world where we are living, it's not going to anyway make us enjoy unlimitedly, because there is a purpose. So, but but there is always, we think that, hey, let's try. Huh? What is the big loss if I try? Let me try. So, and then here, giving up his wife's company was difficult. So this is also mentality that, oh, I'm already enjoying everything. Some people, it's not that they're self-satisfied, they're so much enjoying. That's why they don't want to give up. I don't know. Some of you may have come across people who say, if you go and ask them, can you chant? Can you practice bhakti? They say, why? They may see, why should I do when I'm already happy? Because you may say the secret of happiness is chanting, secret of happiness is Krishna consciousness. They say, anyway, I'm happy. Hmm. Then for them, they think that, and are they self-content? They're thinking, oh, I'm already having everything, why should I do it? Hmm. And what are we going to tell them? Hmm. What are we going to tell them is, yeah, we say that this is temporary happiness, then there is permanent happiness. Then still he says, no, I'm happy with temporary happiness. I don't want permanent. I don't, what is the guarantee? But then if if he comes across people who are really enjoying, and then he thinks, oh, why can't I get that at home? Maybe he's not so expressive. He may not express that he wants to enjoy more than what he's getting at home, but there is always inside. Yeah, he might be thinking, oh, if I expose myself, then people may think that I am not satisfied. People may think that I am um, mm, over ambitious, I am greedy, I am lusty. So that's why he would just keep to himself. But inside, the arrows are still there. And it's a matter of time that these arrows shoot out, and then in all directions. This is what we see. A person who is very, very maintaining, what, a perfectional image in the society, he, yeah, has a second, what do you call, other side of it, opposite side, where only he knows, or maybe very, very close people know. A person may be a very famous politician, a person may be a very famous popular figure in the society, but there is also black side, yeah, black side of him. Yeah. So this is what it means. It's a reality that one cannot say, no, I am not like others. I am already happy. No, a person who is in bhoga vancha, yeah, one who is enjoying, it means then he will never be satisfied. He want more. If someone gets him more, he will definitely try more. Yeah. So here King Puranjan now goes out for hunting, and so in spite of having a very, very beautiful, yeah, the Puranjani whom he got captivated, he thought that she is a girl from some other world, or wife of some great demigod. Finally, such a beautiful wife, at home, he left and he went out for a different company. A conditioned soul is never satisfied with one wife. That is the fact here mentioned. Prabhupada is writing. Then what happened? What happened is King Puranjan um, has abandoned the company of his religiously married wife. He is what is representative of conditioned soul attempt to hunt for many women for sense gratification. Wherever king goes, hmm, I think didn't we discuss this part? No. Wherever the king goes, usually queen accompany him. He's never going alone. Yeah, he goes with his associates, and he also goes with his wife. Hmm. And um, but when the king or conditioned soul becomes greatly overpowered by the desire of sense gratification, he does not care of religious principles. Uh, he doesn't see. Why? Because I'm carried away by all these desires. What to do? I find my scams, schemes, so that I can do what I want. Mm. And for that, if religious principles are obstacles, I'm going to find a way. After all, whether explicitly or implicitly visible, but I'm going to find my way. Uh, so what does he do? He forgets all those principles, and instead, with great pride, he accepts the bow and arrow of attachment and hatred. Mm. Bow and arrow of attachment and hatred. He is going to shoot those arrows out of attachment. He wants satisfied, and he is going to shoot those kind of desires which he doesn't like. Uh, so our consciousness is always working in two ways: the right way and the wrong way. So uh, our consciousness helps us uh, to decide our future. When one becomes too proud of his position, influenced by the mode of passion, what is he doing? He gives up the right path and accepts the wrong one. This is what happens. So, Rajoguna hmm, is quite dangerous. Why? Because it creates the impetus for us to do something. Some If it was in the mode of ignorance anyway, they are rotting in that ignorance. They don't even know what are they doing. But mode of passion is something that people are finding themselves unsettled, that they want to do something great, something big, something that they can enjoy more and more and more. And in that, what is happening? Mm, One is moving away from the path of righteousness, dharma. Yeah, passion is something can lead one to take up the adharma path, And if passion is supported by goodness, the mode of goodness, then he would see towards uh, um, advancement. So I think last week we were discussing about Pravritti Marga and Nivritti Marga, or I think that will come today. So we should understand that here in this case, Kshatriya kings are sometimes advised to go to the forest to hunt ferocious animals just to learn how to kill. But such forces are never meant for sense gratification. So the this can be compared to what do you call a military officer. Yeah, a military officer, he gets access to all ammunitions, all weaponry. So it doesn't mean that he can do whatever he want, and cause all kinds of violence. Violence means disturbance. Uh, so a king, if he is allowed to kill animals, the only purpose is to learn hunting, but not for satisfying the interests of meat eating. Killing animals to eat their flesh is forbidden for human beings. This is very clear. And asurim vrittim ashritya goratma nirannugraha niranugraha nyahanan nishtair banair vaneshu vana gocharan. What is now king doing is, at that time, King Puranjan was very much influenced by demonic propensities. Because of this, his heart became very hard and merciless, and with sharp arrows, he killed many innocent animals in the forest. This is what happens when we get power. The king has full power to do what he can, but he should understand, but there is a purpose. If we exercise the power inappropriately, that causes one to suffer. In this regard, Prabhupada writes in the purport that when a man becomes too proud of his material position, he tries to enjoy his senses in an unrestricted way. Uh, and being influenced by the mode of passion and ignorance, this is the cause. So when a person gets power in hand, if he thinks himself as a servant of the Lord, then he would be responsible. He leads a responsible life, and then that brings peace and harmony. Whereas a person who gets power in his hand, if he thinks that he is the master now and he can do whatever he wants, then he can cause disturbance. Why? Because he has passion. He is impacted by ignorance because he doesn't has the right knowledge that the if one gets a position to serve, even at a very high um, senior leadership, or SLTs, what do we call this? Senior leadership teams, yeah, in at companies we have, or high management board. What is the purpose is that one engages so that they can serve their fellow members of the company properly. So the role of king, when he gets so much power, he should understand that he should guard himself with knowledge, that at least he's out of mode of ignorance. When he is out of mode of ignorance and guided by mode of goodness, then whatever passion he has to to exercise his power will be proper. When people are demonic in spirit, they are not merciful toward the poor animals. And in this case, consequently, they mainly maintain various animal slaughterhouses. Um, when we are seeing today, we see here there's a lot of demand for food. Um, the actual thing is it is not need of food, but it's actually need of actually eating meat. What is happening? People are looking, um, um, yeah, I don't know. We see so many restaurants that are open, which are non-vegetarian, yeah, which was not so in the past. If you see, at least in India, where we come from, we can see so many Indian vegetarian restaurants where uh, um, the food, yeah, that people used to yeah eat were based on vegetarianism. but the dominance of non-vegetarianism has grown, where a chain of restaurants uh, predominantly advertise how one can eat meat. Uh, there are different concepts, different cuisines, fusions, all about how one can enjoy meat eating. Hmm. And when so much, what do you call, advertisement is going on for meat eating, where is the meat coming from? They're not going to kill fellow humans, right? They will kill um, fellow animals. So I would say where animal slaughterhouses become more demand. And what about production? Hmm? Artificially production. I mean, what do you call this? Farms. There's so many poultry farms where the um, there's a lot of torture, mm, the lot of hormonal means through which uh, hens can yield more eggs, um, and pigs can produce more. Uh, what do you call it? Piglets? Yeah. Anyway, that's and then there is also hormones given so that the cows can produce more milk. So this whole slaughterhouse business is based on violence, and that is very prominent. Why? Because there is this uh, advertisement of sense satisfaction, which will never happen. Sense satisfaction is something, an illusion, where just if you think that, oh, by doing this, I'll be happy, by doing that, I'm happy, by eating meat, I'll be happy. Yeah. What is happening? Can someone say what is the effects of eating meat? Hmm. When one eats meat, what is happening? Then the mode of what do you call Rajogun, the mode of passion is dominating because and the mode of ignorance based on what kind of food one eats, and meat eating is prohibited. So, at a logical, at a ethical, and at a spiritual way, we can see that animal killing uh, for meat eating is strictly prohibited. Others, what is happening? Consequently, they maintain various animal slaughterhouses. This is technically called Shuna or Himsa, which means the killing of living beings. Living beings, usually we think uh, living beings are only humans. That is our understanding, right? Yeah, maybe during our science or social studies, we would have read what is living beings. Usually, we consider ourselves, hey, we are living, we are walking, we are talking, we are sleeping, so we are fully active living beings. No, but there are also other beings, cats, dogs, cows, and slaughterhouses for cows and bulls is the most grossest form of animal killing, which results in imbalances mm, in the world that we have already seen. Therefore, so what is happening? Because of in Kali Yuga, due to increase of mode of passion and ignorance, almost all men are asuric or demonic. Therefore, they are very much fond of eating flesh, and for this end, they maintain various kinds of animal slaughterhouses. In this age of Kali, the propensity for mercy is almost nil. Why is this happening? If at all we had mercy, if at all we would have this um, care giving, not only care taking, we would have not been in this situation. But because the mercy levels are coming quite down, it's only business. It is only care oneself, care one's family, care one's community, care one nation. So not giving importance to others, it's causing all kind of violences. Consequently, there is always fighting and wars between men and nations. Men do not understand that because they undistractedly kill so many animals, they almost must also must be slaughtered like animals in big wars. Um, I don't know if Ramraga Prabhu you are there or Adirasa Prabhu you are there. I think there was a question, right, in Akhan program to Bhakti Bhushan Maharaj. Why is the population still increasing when?
Yes, Prabhuji, yes, yeah.
And Bhaktivinoda Maharaj was referring or giving this same explanation, right? What is happening? There are these wars. He was asking, right? The one who was asking. And then Maharaj said, yeah, there are so many wars where people are also killed in mass. He was saying, I think the question was, why is there population is increasing, human population is increasing when one commits? Yeah, because getting a human form is very rare. Why is it increasing? He said, yeah, if you don't use them, what is happening in the form of wars? Humans are also killed. Therefore, they are very much fond of eating flesh, and for this end, they maintain various kinds of animal slaughterhouses. But ultimately, they want to kill. And this is very much evident in the Western countries. In the West, the slaughterhouses are maintained without restrictions. This is another issue. Hmm? When we think this is food, meat is food, we always want to maintain them. Hmm? But I don't know, was it glass doors or there was something like that, right? When the kids were taken for a tour, uh, that they can see how the animals are treated from the glass doors, then they couldn't tolerate. They couldn't see. Why? Because they see that, oh, a lot of suffering is happening inside. And so many have given up meat eating. So it is only that things are happening in the dark world. There are factories, big factories. We don't know what's happening inside. How cruelly. I mean, I was waiting for my appointment at a doctor praxis, and I saw a book, and the book was showing how the animals are cruelly killed. Hmm? Yeah, what kind of uh, factories are there, and what kind of equipments are used? No mercy at all. There is no mercy. In the West slaughterhouses are maintained without restriction. You have, and therefore, every fifth or tenth year, there is a big war in which countless people are slaughtered, uh, even more cruelly than animals, isn't it? That's what is happening. Sometimes during wars, soldiers keep their enemies in concentration camps and kill them in a very cruel way. Uh, these are reactions brought about by unrestricted animal killing in the slaughterhouse and by hunters in the forest. So, yeah, so one who understands the law of karma can accept, but one who doesn't understand law of karma, he think, hey, why are we connecting this? Why are these two related? Animals are meant for eating, isn't it? Have you not heard about this system in some other religions where they say when the Lord created us, He also created food in the form of animals? Anyone heard like that? Didn't hear?
Yes, Prabhuji, yes, yeah.
Hmm? Why? Because we do not we cannot understand, or we do not want to understand that there is a relation, that every being is after all created by the Lord. And everyone is, there is this what you call law of evolution. The soul is evolving. The soul is evolving from a one cell micro micro microorganism to a very sophisticated human form. But still, the soul is present in every body. We are not even appreciating that the soul is in every body, right? If one is saying that is food, that is food that's allowed, no. Mm. So many animals are unrestrictedly killed. There also must be slaughter like animals in big wars. So, whether we accept or not, whether we are able to understand it or not, the reasons for all this interstate, international warfares are going on. Why? Because why the slaughters are happening? Because there is a lot of violence already we are creating. Because we are creating some disturbance, the reaction is that we will be also disturbed. That is the nature, loss of nature. Sometimes during war, soldiers are killed like that. These are restrictions brought about unrestricted animal killing in slaughterhouses and by the hunters in the forest. Proud demonic persons do not know the laws of nature or laws of God. Consequently, they unrestrictedly kill poor animals, not caring for them at all. In Krishna consciousness movement, animal killing is completely prohibited. One is not accepted as a bona fide student in this movement unless he promises the following four regulative principles. First one is no animal killing. Hmm? What are we telling when we are saying no meat eating? Actually, no animal killing. Because most of the animal killing is going for enjoying, for eating meat. So actual for regulation is no animal, which means we should be very um, peaceful, uh, compassionate. Yeah, right, not peaceful. We should be compassionate. No intoxication, no illicit sex, and no gambling. So which means we want protection from the modes of passion, mode of ignorance, and even sometimes in the mode of goodness. Hmm. At least we come to the mode of goodness. Let's put that way. And then this Krishna consciousness movement is the only means by which the sinful activities of man in Kali Yuga can be counterattacked. So this is what. So, hmm, okay. If a king is too attracted to eating flesh, now this is coming. I don't know if Hemagori is this time available. Now, once she was asking that some of her uh, uh, contact on WhatsApp, she was asking or justifying animal killing. After all, this is done in Kali temples, and this is one of the prescribed religious activity. So if a king is too attracted to eating flesh, he may, according to the directions of the Vedic scriptures on sacrificial performance, go to the forest and kill some animals that are recommended for killing. One is not allowed to kill any animals unnecessarily or without restrictions. So, yeah, animal killing, just like okay, when the demand grows, then people create waste, and in that process the animal slaughterhouses are expanding, and when they expand they need to maintain profits. One is not doing a charity job, right? So what they do so many unethical ways of animal killing. Here the question may be raised, why a living being should be restricted in sense gratification? Does anyone have this question? Hmm? Forget about animal killing. After all, when I have senses, why there should be restrictions? Anyone have come across this question by someone? Hmm? The life is to enjoy. Whatever possible, grab it and enjoy it. Why should we control our senses? After all, when the senses are there, we should use it. Huh? Usually, I give the example of every planet is populated by some being, isn't it? If there is a planet existing, means there is life. This is what if you read Prabhupada's book, Life Comes from Life, we can see, which means if there is a planet, then there are also people living. So similarly, if there are senses, are they not to be used? Why should there be restrictions? Adira Prabhu? Valid question, right?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes.
Hmm? This is the argument that is put by so many people now. If we have not heard this question, then um, yeah, maybe at least if we hear to ourselves, don't we have this question? Hmm.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So we see at present moment, so many are arguing. There even by this is not only by scientists, even so-called swamis and yogis, uh, who publicly say that because we have senses, we must satisfy them by sense gratification. And Prabhupada writes, those foolish swamis and yogis, however, do not know the injunctions of Shastras. Yeah, if there are senses, does it mean that they should be used without any limits? Hmm? Okay. If one has um, ears, hmm? What will happen if he hears more than, what is it called? Um, What happens when he is hearing to a loud noise, loud sound? After some time, the senses are gone, right? What happens if one has propensity to sex life? Yeah, then he is prone to diseases. He is prone to lose, what do you call this? Vital energy. He is going to um, lose focus. So everything, yeah, the senses are there, they have a purpose, but if they are not used properly and they're used uh, unwanted for unwanted things, then what is happening? Then, um, then we have not used we have not used our senses properly, and that's why sometimes people may say, "Hey, are you out of senses, out of your sense?" But actually, what is to be having sense is actually understanding this principle that hey, we are humans. We are humans. We are not animals. We are not animals like tigers to hunt. We are not animals. Yeah, that we can say, hey, I am dominated by mode of ignorance. I am dominated by mode of passion. Uh, so that way we justify to enjoy like animals. Then I don't know where did it come. I think it will come later. The example Prabhupada gives of a human has four legs. A dog, sorry, yeah, sorry, a dog has four legs and a human, where he is going in his car, has four wheels. That's the only difference. There is a soul in the dog, but the dog is conditioned so much that yeah, it do not have this thought about what is Brahma Jigyasa, what is the purpose, etc. But a human who is going in a car, he can think, he can ask these questions, he can reflect, he can introspect. Who is he? To know who is he. So we should understand that if there are senses but restrictions, it is not that Lord is very, very envious. He doesn't see that, he doesn't want us to enjoy. That why he has kept all these restrictions. So he's not a good God. Sometimes don't we hear this from atheistic people? They would say, if God is so great, if God is so good, then why is there so much suffering in the world? No? Anyone heard this kind of argument? Hmm?
Yes, Prabhuji.
This comes, yeah, after all, not only atheist, even sometimes theist, yeah, because we are envious of the position of the Lord. We think that Lord is envious of ours to enjoy. Hmm? So that's why we think, hey, why are all these restrictions? Why that I have to blink my eyes when I can see non-stop nonsense all the time? Hmm? So the Lord is envious. He made this arrangement that I had to. Why Lord created this night? Okay, nice that he created night so that I can enjoy nightlife. But oh my God, I also get tired. Oh Lord, if I can unlimitedly enjoy the night, how nice it would be. No, why are these restrictions? You should understand that we are not animals. Even animals lead a disciplined life sometimes when we compare to ourselves. Humans have this crave to create, crave to discover, uh, and in that business we kind of go out of control and uh, forget that our business is to regulate the senses for higher purpose. So at the present moment, this argument, whatever Swamis are putting, what they are simply saying, you know what, that even publicly announced that there should be no more shastras, no more books. Just come to me. I shall touch you and you will become immediately spiritually advanced. I don't know. Yesterday I was mentioning about this Hathrasa. Yeah. I don't know if someone read. Yeah, there is this question about how some Babas they can convince people saying, "Hey, you don't need anything. What you just have to do is come to me, and I'm going to do everything for you. You'll be clean, and you can enjoy. You come to me, you'll be cleaned." So this is what is going on. Because a demonic person wants to be cheated, so many cheaters are present to cheat them. At the present age of Kali Yuga, the entire human society has become an assembly of cheaters and cheated. Don't we see what is happening in the assembly hall these days? I don't know if you are watching. Huh? Now, what is the latest topic? It's about Rahul Gandhi is commenting on Hindus or Hindutva, right? And there is a caricature I made of he. Anyway, the glimpse of assembly hall. Who wants to see? Who likes them? I think school classroom is far better sometimes, isn't it? Hmm? Because there is some discipline. The school will kick them out if one doesn't follow that. And children are more obedient than adults in that matter. Adults think that, hey, I know everything. I have also license. Now I am a major. I can do anything and everything, whatever I like. So we feel that, okay, this is the problem. But because the Vedic injunctions, but according to Vedic injunctions, sex is allowed only in marriage. Sex life is allowed in the marriage life. Otherwise, people, come on, all these questions, they keep, I mean, because when we interact with people, these questions come. There was one guy who we used to have lunch together at office every day, and the topic somehow comes to this point that why is marriage needed? And the question I ask is why you don't need. And then he will give all reasons. He will give all reasons. You know what? If I marry, then I have to take care of that. I have to take care of this. I have to do that. I have to do that. But the point is, he doesn't say that he has no interest in sex life, which means, yeah, he still has interest in sex. For that matter, why should he get married? Marriage is seen as a mm, commitment. That's why should I commit? Anyone have come across such conversations? Yeah, here we can see uh, people are challenging in 21st century what is the purpose of marriage, and we can see what is happening without uh, without a principled married life, isn't it? Hmm? So Vedas are saying sex is allowed only in marriage, but when sex is so loose and licenses, I don't know, even Supreme Court, if I am not wrong, allows live-in relationship. Yeah, people can live even without marriage. Yeah, can someone confirm if that's right? What I heard, there was a case hearing which says clearly that okay, people can live. Hmm. Yeah, marriage is not required. We're talking about uh, um, India, where the Vedic culture mm, basic principle is to regulate life, and sex is not exception, or sex is most important, how it should be regulated. Then comes meat eating is allowed only when animal is killed and offered before the goddess Kali, and intoxication is allowed only in restricted way. In this verse, the word niyamyate indicate that all these things, namely animal killing, intoxication, sex, should be regulated. So allowance is there for the senses that they can engage. Otherwise, the question is valid, right? After all, what is the purpose of senses then? Huh? No, it's not like no action. One can engage in action, but according to the regulations. So regulations are meant for human beings, not for animals. The traffic regulations on the street telling people to keep on the right or left are meant for human beings, not for animals. If an animal violates such a law, he is never punished, but a human being is punished. Right? The Vedas are not meant for animals, but for understanding of human society. A person who indiscriminately violates the rules and regulations given by Vedas is liable to be punished. And for that matter, one cannot say that I am a child, I don't know this. No, still he is to be punished. If a king is allowed to hunt in a forest, it is not for his sense gratification. We cannot simply experiment in art of killing. It is not that, oh, what some other day we were reading that Karna, what he do? He shot an arrow. What is that? Shabda Brahma. through that what he wanted to do. No, did he? No, it was Dasharath who did. And then he had a curse. And Karna is shooting an arrow. I think he shot Shabdam Brahma, if I'm not wrong, because there was some creature that was behind bushes, and he shot an arrow and that killed a cow. Mm. And then the owner of the cow cursed him. So uh, Dambodaka, so Dambodbhava, was Karna's previous life. And yeah, he had to carry all that sin in Mahabharata as Karna was going through that. So we can see that, yeah, this if a king being afraid of meeting rogues and thieves, kills poor animals and eats their flesh comfortably at home, he must lose his position. It is not that king is going to the forest, killing animals, getting nice meat of deer or a tiger or whatnot. Sometimes it's so disgusting. Some people on the table they discuss. You know what? The liver is very tasty. The heart is very tasty. The intestines are very tasty. Oh my God. So many. They are appreciating the organs while they are eating meat, that they are relishing taste. But after all, they are not able to see that it's a dead body. It's a dead body that they are eating. Because in this age, kings have such demonic propensities, monarchy is abolished by the laws of nature in every country. Literally, almost every country we don't see. Or even if they are kings, it's like a snake without the fangs. Just imagine a snake, fangs are removed, snake is no more harmful. It may be still a snake, but it's no more harmful. People have become so degraded in this age that on the one hand, they restrict polygamy, and on the other hand, they hunt for women in so many ways. So this is what happens when we want regulation, because there are also advertisements that are going on. There are so many advertisements about how to enjoy life unrestrictedly. But if there are restrictions, what can it do? It will only open up uh, uh, illegal, non-legitimate relationships, and then that causes a lot of disturbances in household. And when those disturbances become too big, then what happens? Huh? It leads to breakup, and when it leads to breakup, what happens? It leads to depression, and when this depression becomes unbearable, what happens? One commits suicide. So it's not that it's an exaggeration, but this is what is happening today. When the restrictions are not proper and the restrictions are not supported by the society, many business concerns publicly advertise that topless girls are available in their club or in that shop. Yeah, if you're driving and if you come across these um, bars, I don't know what is it called. Mm, I don't know. Have you seen a big, what do you call, long limousine cars on the streets? Hmm? There's an advertising. You know what? The car is so big, and there will be some strange lights inside, and then there is this big roll of poster where a man and there's so many women ready to serve him. And I mean, so many kinds of advertisements are going on, and at the same time, there is only one. One can have one wife. I think in Germany also it's still right like that. But of course, you can live in relationship, all that's fine. But legally, I think there should only one man should have only one wife, if I'm not wrong. Hmm? How is it possible? Then there is also so much, um, um, yeah, non-regulated way of living. Then a classic example there is, um, in the past, there was this when someone is caught in a speed camera, then the photo used to come home. Yeah, of course, it comes also now. But you know what? The first thing is they are confirming, hey, did you drive? This is first question. Then they are going to send you only one photo where the pilot seat. Yeah, Dinath Prabhu is that one who is the one next sitting to the driver. The pilot seat, yeah, is blurred, that one cannot see who is sitting next. Otherwise, you know what was happening? That the guy was going with some other girl and captured, and when he was not at home, the photos come and the wife sees, and then gone case. They stopped sending photos direct, and they say, hey, if you want, if you're still having doubt, you can contact us. We can give you all photos, whatever you want. So in this way, what is happening? Many businesses are advertising what is up. Does women have become instruments of sense enjoyment in modern society? Whether women like or not, hmm, whether women like or not, it is because of this advertising that is going on, and because it's attracting more revenues, it's attracting more profits, it's attracting more attention, and that's why women are used. And the women, and we know that even in Germany, we can see that women are less paid than men. There's always this imbalance that people want to balance it. uh, and then, okay, that women are happy if they are given jobs, right? Because otherwise, a few years back, there was no scope, no hope. Now there is some hope. Okay, let's let's get it. So the Veda, here it says, the Vedas enjoin, however, that if a man has the propensity to enjoy more than one wife, as it's sometimes the propensity for men in higher society or social orders, what are they? Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and even sometimes in Shudras, he is allowed to marry more than one wife. That was the system before. But because marriage means taking complete charge of women, which is not possible now, that's why what is happening? Society makes the law that one should not marry more than one wife. This is typical demonic society. That's why. So marriage uh, is not a choice if one has um, um, interest to enjoy sex life. So one has to take this license, that is a regulated way of living. Narad Muni continued, he's saying, King, my dear King, any person who works according to the directions of Vedic scriptures does not become involved in fruitive activities. So what does this mean? Just like government gives trade licenses so that one can, under the trade license, he can do export import. Otherwise, what is it called? It's called smuggling. If there is no license, if there is no visa, if someone, um, you know, enters a country, then what do we call him? Oh God, what is it? At least if it's a trespassing is something like, hey, you don't, it's not your property, you enter, that's called trespassing. But Vidrohi, what is Vidrohi? Anyway, so a person, yeah, so this is what it says, that, okay, there is some licenses so that, hey, you be happy, I be happy. Regulation. The Vedas contain injunctions that restrain and regulate all of our fruitive activities. Yeah. Yagnartha karmano anyatra lokoyam karma bandhana. We have to understand this is the principle. Anyatra. If we do anything other than yajna, then what is happening? Lokoyam karma bandhanat. So one is bound. What is happening? That action performed, which is not as per Vedas, will produce what? Reactions. And then anyatra lokoyam karma bandhanat is causing them that they are bound. And human being is meant to attain liberation. And how to attain liberation? Tadartam karma kaunteya. Perform karma properly. We are not just interested to do anything, everything, whatever we like, or whatever pleases us, whatever gives us happy. We should understand what is the purpose. How to overcome this problem of karma bandhana is tadartam karma kaunteya mukta sangha samachara. One should perfectly do what? He should perfectly engage in service. Work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu. Yagnartha. karmano. This is very important. So actions according to such principles is called knowledge. So we should we should use the right knowledge. We should understand the right knowledge. Otherwise, what happens? Man-made laws, yeah, trade affairs, right? Uh, Pakistan may say we should do this. China may say we should do this. Uh, India may say we should do this. Every country is seeing how best they can exploit others. Hmm? So all these treaties, these constitutions, all the laws that are made by man-made laws, is going to create all kinds of disturbances. Everyone is therefore advised to act in terms of Vedic injunctions and not irresponsibly. Uh, Otherwise, what is happening? One is free, then he can do so many things. Why? A man-made law, however, are always defective because they are made by man who are prone to four defects. What is that first one? Committing mistakes. There is man. Man is there or something like that, right? One can commit mistakes or one will commit mistakes. Being illusioned. We don't have the capacity to see things as they are. Why? Because we are seeing through the eyes. Our eyes, they can't see things as it is. And then there is also not only that we don't want to see things as they are. Because if that happens, then we have to lead a life of compromise, lead a life that we think that might be not satisfying. So uh, we want to have we have this cheating propensity. And then what is the next? Fourth one is we have imperfect senses. Our senses are not only limited capacity, but also they are imperfect. Imperfect in the sense that we are not having what do you call um, perfection. We are not having the perfect senses through which we are able to engage with this world or with the spiritual world. Why? Because we think that no, these senses are for my own enjoyment, and that too are not so perfect. So these are four defects, the Vedic injunction, and then one who is writing the laws with all these defects, it will be not perfect. The Vedic instructions are different because they do not have the four defects. Why? Because in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, we can see the opening verse, Tene Brahma Hrida Adi Kavaye. It is said that this knowledge is coming not by a man-made, but from the heart of Brahma. And then not only from that, it also comes as a disciplic succession to Narada Muni, to Vyasadev. In that way, it is passed from hmm, from higher to the next through a bona fide disciplic succession. It is not again intercepted with our own thoughts. Bhagavad Gita as it is means it is as it is. No more, no no spices added, or no, wrappers, and no, what do you call top ups? Whatever we want, let's put that. Let's Bhagavad Gita is very famous. Let's add what we want so that people are also there like me who wants these top ups. What do you call these toppers? No, top something like that. If you go to take a insurance policy, there will be vanilla flavor, and then there are so many riders. Yeah, riders. So many riders are there. After all, why not? Bhagavad Gita can also have riders. Make it more exciting. No, Vedas are coming via disciplic succession. And then comes otherwise a person who acts whimsically falls down due to false prestige. So this non-Vedic way of living is coming mainly because we have false prestige. We have false prestige, and then what do we call this? Ahankar. Thus, he becomes involved in laws of nature, which are composed of three qualities. In this way, a living entity becomes devoid of his real intelligence and becomes perpetually lost in the cycle of birth and death. Thus, he goes up and down from a microbe in a stool to a high position in Brahmaloka. Now, this is coming from here. And then In this particular verse, there are so many important points. I'm talking still eighth. First thing is, unrestricted life is due to what? False prestige. And results in what? Results in fall down. And then when results in fall down, then he engages himself in the laws of nature and becomes devoid of his real intelligence and become lost in cycle of birth and death and goes through this cycle of transmigration on. He's going through that. या शास्त्र विधिम उत्सृज्य वर्तते काम कारतः न स सिद्धिम अवाप्नोति न सुखम न पराम गतिम. So he who discards scriptural injunctions and acts according to his own whims attains neither perfection nor happiness nor the supreme destination. Thus one who deliberately transgressing the rules and regulations. Sometimes na we see, hey, let me see what happens. Okay, whatever happened, let me enjoy. Then what is happening is simply involving himself more and more in material existence in the three modes of material nature. Human society should therefore follow the Vedic principles of life which are summarized in Bhagavad Gita. Otherwise, he has to go through this passing from one species of life to the other species of life. But the gradual process of evolution, when one comes to human form of life, he is supposed to follow regulative principle laid by Vedas. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that the living entity, since time immemorial, is suffering the threefold miseries of material nature due to his demonic attitude. And then what is happening? Which is Mamaivams Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana Mana Seshtandriyani Prakriti Sthani Karshati. What is happening? Mamaivams Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. The living entities conditioned in this conditioned world are my eternal fragmental parts. Mamaiva Amsa Mama means the Lord is saying my. Mamaivamsha Jiva Loke. All the jivas of this loka, Jiva Bhuta Sanatana, they are part and parcel of me. Uh, the eternal fragmental part and parcel. And then Mana Shastrendriyani, we have this Indriya, which are 5, and Mana added is 6. So the 6 senses. If one engages, then what is happening? They are struggling very hard with 6 senses, which include mind. And then Prakriti Sthani Karshati, struggle. That's what happens. Every living entity is part and parcel of the Lord. There is no reason for living entities being put into the miserable threefold actions, whatever condition is happening. To save him from the horrible condition, the Lord has given all Vedic literature in his incarnation as Vyasadeva. It is therefore Krishna Bhuli Sai Jiva Anada Bahirmukha Athaiva Maya Tare Deya Samsara Dukha. When we are turning ourselves away from the Lord, what is happening? All the dukkha is coming. By forgetting Krishna, the living entity has become materialistic since the time immemorial. Therefore, the illusory energy of Krishna is giving him different types of miseries in material existence. Maya Mugdha Jivera Naya Swata Krishna Jnana. Jivere Kripaya Kaila Krishna Veda Purana. So the importance of knowledge is given here. When a living entity is enchanted, what is it? Maya Mugdha Jivera. When a living entity is enchanted by external energy, he cannot revive his original Krishna consciousness independently. And then what is happening? Jivere Kripaya Kaila Krishna Veda Purana. So, due to such circumstances, Krishna has kindly given him the Vedic literature such as the 4 Vedas and 18 Puranas. So, that is the purpose. And then a person who is a non-devotee has no good qualifications because he acts on the mental platform. One who acts on the mental platform has to change his standard of knowledge periodically. This is what is happening. We are upgrading. We are saying, hey, it is C++, and then something else, and all these things are happening. All of this is due to they're working on mental platform without a standard of knowledge. In the Vedic instructions, however, the standard of knowledge is accepted, even though it may sometimes appear that the statements are contradictory. Because the Vedas are standard of knowledge, even though they may appear contradictory, they should be accepted. If one does not accept them, he will be bound to the material condition. So we are deciding uh, the authenticity of Vedas. Is it not so funny? Huh? We are just using logical reasoning, and logically doesn't fit. When it logically doesn't fit, we just reject. When it's contradictory, we reject, thinking that, okay, I am qualified. What certification do we have? What qualification do we have? Huh? I am smart. I am intelligent. I can think through. Yeah, if I am not intelligent, at least I can see that, okay, other persons are intelligent. On their basis, let me conclude. What is the guarantee that their intelligence is correct? They have certified. They, he is a certified scientist, well known for whatever nonsense he speaks. He is very much well known. He has proved his word. What is the proof? No. Hmm. With lot of hypothesis, with lot of assumptions, one is just proving. What is the guarantee that it works? No, after all, it's working all these days. No, some other scientist is telling that no, that's not a fact. I think that time it worked, but actually, truth is something else. Who said that Earth is circular? I think sun is circular. I don't know. Someone said, and then no, it's a spherical. Hmm. Now we have better proofs. So this is going on. The material conditions are described in this verse as guna pravaha. This is the condition, the flowing of the three material modes of nature. Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur therefore says in song, Miche Mayara Vase Yacha Bheshe Kacha Habu Dubu Bahai. Why are you suffering? Why are you sometimes being drowned in the waves of material nature and sometimes coming to the surface? Jiva Krishna Das, Vishwas, Karile Ta Ar Dukha Nai. So please, therefore, accept yourself as a servant of Krishna. Jiva Krishna Das. Then you will be freed from all miseries. As soon as one surrenders to Krishna and accepts the perfect standard of knowledge, which is Bhagavad Gita as it is, he then comes to the material modes of nature. And then in this regard, there is this, Prabhupada is referring the verses of 17th chapter in Bhagavad Gita, where it is said, Arjuna is asking, "Oh Krishna, what is the situation of those who do not follow the principles of scriptures, but worship according to their own imagination? This has become another fashion. Are they in goodness, in passion, or in ignorance?" Someone will create his own way of worshipping and says, "Hey, huh, it's freestyle. It should come from heart. After all, we should we should conquer the Lord with our heart, isn't it? So let me do whatever I like to do. For that matter, there is no rules and regulations. Lord sees what I am interested in." Uh, Arjuna is asking, what is situation? What is situation of those who do not follow the principles? Are they in goodness, passion, or ignorance? And Krishna is saying that, according to the modes of nature acquired by the soul, one's faith can be divided. One faith is three kinds: faith in goodness, faith in passion, faith in ignorance. And Krishna goes further saying, you know what? According to one's existence under various modes of nature, one evolves a particular kind of faith. The living being is said to be of a particular faith according to the modes he has acquired. And now, men in mode of goodness worship the demigods, those in the mode of passion worship the demons, those in the mode of ignorance worship ghosts and spirits. And those who undergo severe austerities and penances not recommended in scriptures, performing them out of pride and egoism, who are impelled by lust and attachment, who are foolish and who torture the material elements of the body as well as the super soul dwelling within, are to be known as demons. So this is what, when we when we are there, we are talking also about sometimes, after all, bhakti, after all, religion, it should be like how I think. And then what is happening? Traigunya Visha Veda Nistraigunya Bhavarjuna Nidvanda Nitya Satvasa Niryoga Kshema Atmavan. So what is happening? When we reject the Vedas, mainly deal with subject of three modes of nature. And Krishna is saying, even raise above it. Yeah. Krishna is not even saying only just lead a Vedic way of living. One should advance, one should use the Vedic way of living as a basis, and to be free from all duality and from all anxieties for gain and safety and be established in self. That is the purpose. One has to transcend the three modes, and to attain that platform of transcendence, one must follow the instruction of the Supreme Lord. In this regard, Prahlad Maharaj says, Matirna Krishna parata svatova mitobhi padyata graha vratanam adanda govir vishatam tamishram punascha punascharvita charvitanam. He's saying materialistic life is what? It's like uh, a life characterized by chewing the chewed. Just if you think that itself is so uh, disgusting, do we want to? It is something like we have chewn and we are again chewing it, thinking that, oh, this is so nice. No. And they are controlled by their uncontrolled senses. Thus, what is happening? Thus they go down to the darkest region. Adanda Gobir, Vishatam Tamishram, very, very, the well of ignorance. And due to what? Uncontrolled senses. Thus they go down to the darkest region of hellish life. When King Puranjan was hunting in this way, many animals within the forest lost their lives with great pain, being pierced by sharp arrows. Upon seeing these devastating, ghastly activities performed by the king, all the people who were merciful by nature became very unhappy. Such merciful people could not tolerate seeing all this killing. This is what it's mentioned. Yeah, when demonic people engage in animal killing, hmm, uh, uh, the demigods or devotees of the Lord are very much afflicted by this killing. So all these affairs are ghastly, and and a compassionate person, a devotee, becomes very unhappy to see such sight. The hunting process is also carried in a different way, as we have already explained. Hunting women, drinking different types of liquor, becoming intoxicated, killing animals, and enjoying sex all serve as the basis of modern society. Vaishnavas are unhappy to see such a situation in the world, and therefore they are very busy spreading this Krishna consciousness movement. The devotees are painted to be to see the the devotees are pained to see the hunting and killing of animals in the forest, the wholesale slaughterhouses, the exploitation of young girls in brothels that function under different names as clubs and societies. Being very much compassionate upon the killing of animals in sacrifice, the great sage Narada began his instructions to King Prachina Parishad. Not only are saintly persons afflicted by this killing, but even God himself is afflicted and therefore comes down in incarnation of Lord Buddha. Hmm. Jayadev Goswami in his Dashavatara Stotra, we see that Sadaya Hridaya Darshita Pashu Ghatam. What is happening? Simply to stop the killing of animals, Lord Buddha compassionately appeared. Some rascals put forward the theory that an animal has no soul or is something like dead stone. In this way, they rationalize that there is no sin in animal killing. Actually, animals are not dead stone, but the killers of animals are stone-hearted. The conclusion is that one who does not care for instructions of saintly persons like Narada and his disciplic succession surely falls into the category of Nashta Prajna and thus goes to hell. Nashta Prajna. Prajna means sharp intelligence. Nashta Prajna means one who doesn't has that. So it is, I'll conclude with this 10th verse. I think that's what we read, right? Hmm. In this way, in this way, King Prachina Parishad killed many animals, including rabbits, boars, buffalo, bisons, black deer, porcupines, and other game animals. After killing, the king became very tired. Hmm? This is what happens. A person in the mode of ignorance commit many sinful activities. And what is happening in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu? Srila Rupa Goswami explained that a man becomes sinful out of ignorance only. So what should we uh, need is knowledge. The importance of knowledge is very important. Otherwise, one is in ignorance and he continues. He commits sins and result is suffering. And then when the result is suffering, this is coming in the form of punishment. Suffering is for what? Punishment is for rectifying. So in one way or the other, Jiva is helped to not cross his limits, that he can do anything. There is a system through which he will be still checked and punished. The king became tired after killing so many animals. This is very significant, very, very important. When a man comes in contact with a saintly person, he becomes aware of stringent laws of nature and thus becomes a religious person. So I started this verse, but this also is important. It would take little time. Let's see. A sinful man comes in contact with saintly persons is very, very important. Otherwise, we continue committing sins, and then there is a whole heap of sins, and then it becomes too big to manage, to overcome that sin. But a saintly person helps him. He becomes aware of laws of nature, so he starts regulated life and becomes religious. To become religious means not to do whatever we want and just pay something to the Lord as a deal to clear off all what nonsense we did. That is not being religious. Religious is to really understand the purpose of life and engage ourselves in the service of Lord. That is true religion. Though who did not follow principles, those who are like that, they are called as pseudo religionists. We can see we can see so much such pseudoism in us, that we are thinking we are religious person, but we are enjoying. Irreligious persons are like animals, but in Krishna consciousness movement, such persons can come to a sense of understanding that they things as they are and abandon the four principles of prohibited activities, namely illicit sex, meat eating, gambling, and intoxication.
Prabhuji, you're in mute. Prabhuji, you are not audible now. No, for me only, or everyone has the same. Just now,
Hare Krishna Mataji, even I cannot hear.
Am I audible again?
yes, Prabhuji, now we can hear.
Okay. Someone, speak now.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Am I audible?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
We can hear you. Okay. Why I can't hear
Yes, we
you?
can hear you.
Speaker. No. Now? Can you speak?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Now I can hear you also. So where am I? We are concluding.
Gambling, illicit sex. So
Yeah. So and then religious life What is the beginning of religious life is to follow regulative principles. Ah, I think I was giving this example, right? Last week I was saying that there was this god brother of Prabhupada who was asked, can you make me a Brahmana? And then he said, yeah, you have to follow the 4 regulative principles and then you become Brahman. Then he said, impossible. That is also our position. We think, hey, following 4 regulative principles is impossible. How can I stop eating meat? It's so tasty, and there are so many things to experiment more. I can't give up because I have interests. Then illicit sex, come on, illicit sex. Which century are we? In 21st century, we have understood that sex should not be restricted. After all, restricting such a life is a life of what do you call this? Procrastination. No, we should really lead a very, very satisfying, responsible life. No, the responsibility, where is it? And in that way, one is saying, oh, following regulative principles is very, very difficult. But that is the basis of religious life, only when it starts. And then Prabhupada says, impossible, but let's um, do it anyway. Let's try it anyway. Yeah. So we should have hope. And then in that way, Prabhupada disciples, so many disciples, who were having these uh, habits, and who were also initially were not following these all regulative principles to the best. They have given up, and Krishna supports, favors religious life, and sinful activity cannot go parallel. Uh, Activities cannot parallel one another. If one is serious in accepting a religious life or the path of salvation, he must adhere to the 4 basic principles and regulations. However sinful a man may be, if he receives knowledge from the proper spiritual master, and the most important, and repents his past activities in his sinful life and stops them, he immediately becomes eligible to return home back to Godhead. So, what are the 2 things? One is the knowledge and support from the spiritual master. The second one is that we realize, that I am, I led a very sinful life. Uh, Yeah, we need not appreciate what we did, but we should accept what we did, and it's disgusting. So when we understand, and then when we understand it's not in line with religious principles, and repent, and then one becomes eligible. One need not become perfect, but one has the repentance, and then accepts a spiritual master. These are 2 very important things through which one can become eligible to go back to Godhead. This is made possible just by following the rules and regulations given in the Shastras and following a bona fide spiritual master. So, what are the 2 things? Those. At present, the whole world is in the verge of retiring. Okay. This paragraph, I appreciate you read yourself, but it also has very, very important message. People always thinking of retirement, retirement, retirement. Yes, the whole world is in the verge of retiring. And I think the other day, somewhere I saw that people are saying German system cannot sustain with a retirement of 67. They see that as an early retirement. They want to increase it to 68, 69. I don't know what's going to come after a few years, because this revision is going on and on. And one is thinking, I want to retire. At present moment, the whole society is on the verge of retiring from a blind materialistic civilization, which may be likened to hunting animals in the forest. So people should take advantage of this Krishna consciousness movement and leave their troublesome life of killing. It is said that the killers of animals should neither live nor die. Why? What is happening? If they live only to kill animals and enjoy women, life is not very prosperous. So animal eaters, if they are living, they will kill more animals and more they enjoy more. If they live only to kill animals. That is the problem. And as soon as a killer dies, he enters the cycle of birth and death in the lower species of life because of whatever nonsense he did. He is losing the opportunity of human life. So, uh, such a killer, if he dies, it's also not desirable. So, it is situation like that. And the conclusion is that the killer should retire from killing business and take to Krishna consciousness to make life perfect. It is not that that is a confused, frustrated man cannot get relief by committing suicide, because suicide will simply lead him to take birth in the lower species of life or to remain a ghost, unable to attain gross material body. Therefore, the perfect course is to retire altogether from sinful activities and take up Krishna consciousness. In this way, one can become completely perfect and go back home, back to Godhead. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Sorry for taking a little long. I at least wanted to finish the 10 verses. And yeah. Any reflections, thoughts? Anyone? How closely we are discussing to the reality of the world, of our own world? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you very much for explaining these chapters, and it is very enlightening. And so, at some point, you said that nowadays people say that live life to the fullest, enjoy the life, enjoy the senses, everything, and which is very common. I mean, 99.99% people are thinking like that only. But after listening to the scriptures, studying these scriptures, and gaining a very little bit of knowledge, it is obvious that only this human form of life has the capacity to control the senses. No other species have that. So if this is exclusive for the human form of life, then why can't we use it to control the senses? That is one thing. And other is the more we get involved into the enjoyment of sense, the more we become forgetful towards the Lord. So that's the other thing. So at least we should remember these 2 points and control the senses, sense enjoyment. So that's what we should think about. But no people are, I mean, 99.99% people are not thinking like that.
Grihamanda Kupam. So we are stuck in the household. We think the household is the crest jewel of all my satisfaction, all my happiness can be, I can get it from there. Yeah, this is what we have been seeing, how people are fulfilling their ambitions, right? If one wanted to become a successful professional, okay, I've seen my neighbor who has worked hard, has earned a lot of money, has big, big buildings. So the secret is to get a good career, profession, right? And oh, he's enjoying life now. Yeah, okay, so many followers are there. What should I do? I should become I should also participate in charity. What do you call this? Charity mm, uh, organizations, right? Activities where, oh, then I also become famous. So in that way, what we are doing is we are all focusing on how I can yeah, rather leading a ethical life, rather, yeah, thinking about, no, I want to, I want to genuinely advance. I want to genuinely enjoy. No, those things are not there. As long as they are not there, that's the problem. And were you there when we were talking about window shopping topic about gurus?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. I didn't manage to say add on. There is this window shopping of gurus from uh, TV channels, right? Have you seen people very in the morning they start the TV. They start, and most of the channels what they do, the programs in the morning, bhakti. Yeah, there is some guy who is coming. First, there are some nice words, and then there is a guy who comes and says, astrological chart of today of all the rasis is like this, and so many things. And after gradually from morning 5 o'clock, if you see the program slowly go, and as soon as it's 8 or 9 o'clock, then it's all about only Vishaya. It's all about only the programs, right? What happened in a household? What happened at a business? What happened that? What happened this?
Yes.
Yeah. And this window shopping is what, and if you ask, hey, are you religious? Yes, yes. Why? Because I heard I'm watching this TV. You know what? This so and so X is telling this. I understand. I accept it. So and so Y is coming and telling this. I also accept that. I and then can you tell me who is your guru? Oh, X, Y, Z. Everyone is my guru. Who are you following? Hmm? Hmm? That is what happens.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Everyone says that, oh, I know everything or I'm doing everything, but why we are not advancing? It's something also for us, like not only for people in the TV, people are also like, uh, why are we not having taste for chanting? Though we are chanting, why are we not chanting with taste? It's because we still have so many things. We know that regulative principles are important. We should follow. We follow them with great burden. Oh, very difficult to follow regulative principles. But okay, I have committed, let me follow. But we are not realizing that, oh, I'm committing a lot of sins and repent fully. Yeah, I want to overcome them. Yeah, forget about others, even us, right? I have a lot of, I'm committing a lot of sins. Am I repenting? No, I'm justifying. As long as I continue to justify myself what I'm doing, there is no question of repenting, right? I'm not accepting my own uh, actions, which are not right.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, thanks for those 2 points. Yeah, it's also very surprising. Yeah, this is what I think. Yaksha Prashnas, right? When the Dharmaraj goes to this lake, one of the question is, what is the most amazing thing? He says, the amazing thing is that a person is dying and he thinks that it's not, he's not going to die. If I'm right, if I said correctly, yeah, I think it's that. This is so many amazing things are happening in the world, right? Mm. So many amazing things are happening even in us. If we just reflect ourselves, we think, hey, isn't it? I am attending Bhagavatam, I am attending Bhagavad Gita, I am going to temple. Yeah, is it not amazing that why I am not still getting taste for chanting? Why am I not still able to do proper sadhana? We are only amazed by things happening outside us. Hey, what is that? After all, huh? He or she had so many life lessons. Till now, he should already have become a great devotee. We always are seeing outside us. Huh? How come that he or she is going for a yatra? Huh? And then after coming from yatra, what is happening? Again, he's doing same business. But what about us? What are we doing? If we go to yatra and come back, what are we doing? Yeah. Amazement is also making us feel amusement.
Mhm.
Isn't it, Parth Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. Absolutely.
So the only way is as long as we are freestyle devotion, that doesn't work. We should always anchor ourselves to be under the shelter of Guru. Even accepting a Guru is not everything. After accepting, still to be in the shelter. That is what is the important point. So what does it mean to be in the shelter is to follow the instructions. When we follow the instructions, then we are under his shelter. Otherwise, what is the guarantee that why he should give guarantee for all nonsense what we do?
Yes,
Hmm?
Prabhu.
So, but then, okay, we are humans. We are prone to make mistakes knowingly, unknowingly. We have desires, as you said, na? Oh, but what about all our desires and interests, na? okay, we commit, and then again we should be very, very repentful. Again, go back to a guru and say, our guru, and say, when that is not there, na, window shopping goes forever. Nothing tangible. Yep. Thank you, Lord Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Other thoughts or reflections from anyone? Are we going too slow? Are we going too long? No, silence, I take it no. So, yeah, let's continue. Thank you very much. Grandha Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitaya Gaur Premanand. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare
By
Krishna,
the
Prabhuji.
today, the 6 hours kirtan, if someone wants to join, yeah, I think yesterday I said, can join in the temple. We will be there.